Honourable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, thou members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the levels of government, that this land and people may be well and truly served, that good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us the vision of our country, fair as it might be, country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people, and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Give me a pen, I forgot to pick my name. Honourable members, we commence with the correction of votes and proceedings of the 15th sitting dated Thursday, 4 July 2024. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Page 14. Page 15. Page 16. Yes, Honorable.
Speaker, sorry I'm bringing you back. Page 13. The modern drafters often frown upon the use of past tense. If you look at 13, clause 5, insert developed for the efficient operation. Are you developed? I've heard you use develop without ed. So when it's used, then they say developed. Just for you to take note, Mr. Speaker, so that table and drafting person will take notes. We have often been told in this house that you don't use past tense. So, but in this matter, I have seen a past tense of ed added to develop. But contextually, I don't have the bill here to make my argument better. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, yes, if what is reported here is in fact what was done, then this vote and proceeding is correct. But when we come back to consideration, you may look at that and advise that probably we relook at it, yes. Page 16, page 17, page 18, page 19, page 20. Yes.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, page 20, item number 11. The Right Honorable Speaker issued a very strong directive and a caution, but that has not been captured. The Right Honorable Speaker cautioned members not to speak to the matters that had come up, and to stay away from media engagements on that matter. It's a very strong caution, and I thought that it will have found expression here, considering the kind of emphasis that is, because the Speaker even added that he will apply the strongest sanctions under the Constitution and the standing orders. So I thought that that should have found expression here.
Yes.
The Speaker, on same subject matter, I recollect that the Speaker started off by directing that, flowing from the debate, the work of the committee was inconclusive, and hence the committee should go back and complete its work. And then the latter part of the directive was that the members should refrain from public commentaries and also speaking on same subject matter in the media space. So just to corroborate what my colleague said.
Very well. The table office is directed to look again at the record and correct it as it is. Page 21. Page 22. Yes.
Well, Mr. Speaker, we are the last page of the votes and proceedings, and I've observed that the questions that were deferred yesterday, it has not been captured at all. It doesn't reflect here. We had an agreement with the Minister for Employment that those questions will be deferred to next week. I thought that, as has been the practice, at least the votes and proceedings will capture that those questions were deferred to the ensuing week. But going through the entire votes and proceedings, it doesn't find expression at all. So if something could be done about that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
If I recall correctly, there was an announcement that those questions will not be answered yesterday because there was an agreement with, I don't know whether that the questions were deferred. Is that not the report? No. I'm looking up, it ought to be ahead. The questions were deferred before we did the others and came to. So, well, the table office will take note and record that announcement. Yes.
Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, page 22, item number 1. Speaker, I am of the humble view that composition should be recomposition. So it will read, the committee met on Thursday, 4th July, 2024 at 5:35 p.m. and considered the proposed recomposition of the membership of committees. Speaker, this is because the committees are already constituted. What we are doing now is to recompose them. That's my humble view. So thank you.
Are the committees reconstituting because there are committees under the old rules? These are new committees under the current rules, and so it's a new thing.
Speaker.
Let me listen to Southong before I come.
Mr. Speaker, I am in full support of your understanding of this rendition, and I told my colleague that I was going to litigate this matter because, Mr. Speaker, under the new standing orders, this is the first composition under the new standing orders. So it is correct, as has been captured here, proposed composition of the membership of committees, because we haven't composed new committees under the new standing orders. If we had done that and we were going to recompose or we're doing adjustments or amendments, then you can call it a recomposition. But under the new standing orders, this is the first time committees are going to be composed. So this is correct. So I humbly submit that we should keep it as such. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, it's not entirely correct that all the committees are new committees, but to reflect the proper rendition, Mr. Speaker, then I suggest that the sentence should read all that of the membership of the committees pursuant to the new standing orders adopted on 2nd January 2024. Then we will be putting it into proper perspective. In my humble view, I thank you.
Very well. Yeah, on the same matter. Okay, let me give the directive to the table office to reconsider the report based on the suggestions about. Yes,
Madam Speaker, I take you to page 22, item 2. The committee of selection met yesterday. Yours sincerely, I was there, even though a little late. But I see the chief whip majority has somehow engineered my name to be taken out. No, I'm just joking. So I just want my name to be included because I was in the meeting. Thank you.
He was not there. Honorable Habib was there, but his name is conspicuously missing. So I think we have to dress that up. So we relate to the table office and get it sorted.
So what are you doing? They are reporting, and this minutes must be adopted by the House now.
Yes.
So if there are any corrections, please do it now.
Speaker, the Honorable, I think item 2, attendance. Honorable Ambrose Derry was not present, so that should be taken out. And then the Honorable Emmanuel Kojo Ejekum, he was also not there. Then I think Honorable Habib was present. His name is missing. So, and then, of course, the Deputy Leader, Honorable Kofi Boah, was also present.
Leader, is it on the same matter? Membership, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I have observed that you have just given directives to table, but the matter is in page 22 and about committees. Mr. Speaker, need to go beyond table to your good self, the Speaker, and the leadership. Mr. Speaker, this House cannot continue to operate with coexistence of new or old standing orders. We cannot, Mr. Speaker, with all respect. If we are operating under an approved new standing orders, every conduct in this House must reflect the new standing orders. And Mr. Speaker, I say so because from Article 103, 106, 107, 108 of the Constitution, a number of provisions in the standing orders are verbatim lifting from the 1992 Constitution. You cannot defer the functionality and operation of that standing orders on the altar that Parliament is not prepared with its standing orders. So, Mr. Speaker, your directive must be a stronger one that decisively and conclusively we should bring a terminal end to the matter of composing committees and operate, especially so, Mr. Speaker, that every now and then somebody is walking to court. You don't want this embarrassment of House. So this Parliament cannot run concurrently on two different standing orders, old and new. we must bring an end. So let your directive be far-reaching. The emeritus leader, you have heard me. Okay, thank you.
Very well. I'm advised that after the close of yesterday, they have concluded work on all the standing orders. So I'm sure before at most next week they will.
Pleading that this weekend we'll finish our work, and definitely I'm sure the chief whip on the majorities will agree. On Tuesday, we can lay the committee of selection document, and then we'll finally put finality to the concerns that has been raised. I agree completely. This must come to an end.
Yeah.
My good friend, the deputy leader, should not mix matters up. We've had 2 meetings. I don't want to go into details of it, but initially you had challenge on your side, and we were patient waiting on you.
Leader,
Speaker, yesterday,
can I conclude
Speaker, in conclusion, I want the record to reflect it. Yesterday, he said, now he just said that we were close to concluding. No, we have concluded, and we agreed yesterday that we will lay the report today, and in the afternoon take the motion. That is the agreement.
Very well noted. Honourable members, subject to the amendments effected, votes and proceedings of Thursday, July 4th, 2024 are hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. I want to avoid further litigation by the leadership, so I'm moving on. Honourable members, I have an official report. The official report of Friday, May 17th, 2024. Friday, May 17th, 2024. Any corrections, please? Any corrections? In the absence of any corrections, the official report of Friday, May 17, 2024 is hereby adopted as a true record of proceedings. Honourable members, let me acknowledge the guests we have in the House today before we continue with proceedings. The first one is the student from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, the Parliament of the Students of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. They are led by Mr. Daniel Safo. He is the first Deputy Speaker, and they are from the Oforokrom constituency. Yes. The 76 of them. You are welcome to Parliament of Ghana. The next is students from the Brigel Senior High School. They are led by Mr. Raphael Esedu Otu. He is a teacher. They are from the Kwapim South constituency. 62 of them. You are welcome to Parliament. Then you may resume your seat. We have the Talent Crash, EC/DC. Okay. They are led here by a teacher by name Nicholas Kali. They are from the New Javin South constituency. There are 37 of them. You're welcome to Parliament. Now we will proceed Yes, Honorable Leader.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is not usual, but once you mention Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, I'm just to join you to welcome them. As part of the 30th anniversary, we were in Kumasi on Friday, and there was a debate contest between 4 tertiary institutions. Mr. Speaker, in fact, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, they did excellently well. And therefore, once you mention their name, I want to join you to welcome and commend them.
Very well noted. Very well noted. Yes, Leader.
Right on, Speaker, just to add that I'm very proud of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, and to say that that is the best university, period.
Please, let's avoid any litigation. I've seen my Vandal colleague on his feet. I know the Vandal colleague will not agree with you, but let's avoid any litigation this morning. Other members will proceed with question time. Yes.
That we should rather proceed to item 6.
Very well, sorry. I jumped the business statement. Yes. Item 6, business statement.
Go ahead. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, your committee met yesterday, Thursday, 4th July 2024, and arranged the business of this August House for the 5th week ending Friday, the 12th of July 2024. Mr. Speaker, the committee accordingly submits its report as follows. Mr. Speaker, you may read any available communication to the House. Ministers, in all, 9 ministers are expected to attend upon the House to respond to 72 questions, of which 9 are urgent in nature and 63 oral in the course of the week. Mr. Speaker, in total, we expect that the written answers will be provided and same printed in the order paper as the honorable ministers attend to the House to answer their questions. I would like to also mention that pursuant to Order 91, Section 2, ministers of state may be permitted to make statements on government policy. Mr. Speaker, may also admit statements to be made in the House by honorable members in accordance with Order 93. Bills and papers may be presented to the House for first reading. However, those of an urgent nature may be taken through the various stages in one day under Order 160. Pursuant to Order 97, papers may be laid during the week and reports from committees may also be presented to the House for consideration. Mr. Speaker, a couple of bills are in your possession, and we hope that in the course of the week, still relying on the rules of the House, such bills may be considered. The motions may be debated and their consequential resolutions, if any, taken during the week. Having regard to the exigencies of the time and current workload, Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee recommends that the House continue extended sitting for the ensuing week, commencing on Tuesday, the 9th of July, 2024. And Mr. Speaker, I'd like to mention that commencing the ensuing week, we want to recommend that sitting begins on Mondays for the rest of the session. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, in pursuant to the Standing Order 216, subsection 2, and subject to Order 67, the committee submits to the House the order in which the business of the House shall be taken during the week. I so submit. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable members. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I filed an urgent question to the Minister of Agric to come and respond to a burning matter regarding rice production. Last year, Mr. Speaker, rice farmers were hit by serious birds devastation, with some of the rice farmers completely not getting anything from their farms. Mr. Speaker, I've interacted with a few of the farmers, and they are unwilling to go back to production this year. I see this to have negative consequences on our food security issues in the country. I think that this is the right time for the minister to come and respond to this very important matter. The reason is being that...
Honourable, can you please discuss this with your leadership? Please. Yes.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you for your guidance.
Thank you. Yes.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to comment on the business statement ably presented by the Deputy Leader. Mr. Speaker, my first comment is in respect of the proposal that we hold extended sittings and also sittings for Mondays. It's all good. But let me draw leadership's attention to the situation of our coffee area. I think that come with extended sitting will be members, of course, will be assessing the area. And I think it's time that they move to the new place so that the sitting area can be properly organized. Where they are, it's not good, it's not nice. It's been over 6 months when the cafeteria was renovated. So I suggest that we do something about it. Mr. Speaker, second, I've been requesting that the House advise the Electoral Commission for them to come brief the House on the recent activities that they undertook, especially the limited registration, and of course the difficulties that went with it, the transfers, and the mop-up which ends today. It's very important that they brief us before we go on the long recess. It's not been featured. I raised it 2 weeks ago. I was hoping that my request will be accommodated. It's still not accommodated. So I want to plead with you to find time next week to invite the EC. Mr. Speaker, third, business statement, you told us that it's at large, so I'll smuggle this one in. Mr. Speaker, there's a very serious matter concerning some Ghanaians in Dubai. A lot of Ghanaians are being arrested without recourse to a legal process. They are neither deported nor being granted access to their colleagues to even visit them. And it's such a major matter, and I'm happy that Ranking for Foreign Affairs is here. We want to urge the leadership to invite the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration to come and brief the House. There are a lot, in fact, 3 of my constituents are involved. That is how come I got to know. They are in prisons, they are in police cells, some over 6 months. They are neither taken to court nor...
Honorable, I suggest that you file an urgent question for the Minister to come.
Very well, very well. So, I'm very grateful.
Thank you very
much.
Thank you very much. Okay, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very grateful. Mr. Speaker, I was supposed to ask a question yesterday. It was filed. I was here to ask the question. The Rose Minister was here. We sat throughout, and I never got the opportunity to ask the question. One would have thought that it would be programmed for next week. I've just gone through the other paper, and it's not there. It's a question that I don't want to let go. And so I will strongly suggest to leadership to program those questions that were supposed to be asked that we never had the opportunity to ask. Mr. Speaker, one other important issue that I want to draw your attention to is the fact that sometimes when we asked ministers to come and brief the House, we are told that we should file urgent questions. We all know that responding to an urgent question is different from giving us an update on a contemporary issue. And we have the right as members of Parliament to use different tools in order to ensure that our duty of oversight is executed. And so, much as I agree that we can ask urgent questions, it is important that sometimes ministers come here to update the country. We are the representatives of the people, and when they come to update us, they are updating the whole country. On that note, Mr. Speaker, I would want to recommend strongly that leadership bring the Minister of Trade and Industry to come and update us on the status of the Trade Fair Center. The Trade Fair Center was broken down some years back, and we have followed up several times to know what is happening there. And there's no any answer. I thought that Ghanaians need to know. And so I want to make a passionate appeal to leadership to invite the minister responsible for trade and industry to come and update us. It is important to update us, just as it's important for him to lay bills to, as it were, pass them into laws to regulate cement activities. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, you see, for me, I keep saying that we represent the people, and that's very, very important. On Monday, BECE students will be writing their exams. One would have thought that the Minister of Education, even if he cannot come, his deputy should come here and brief us. Where are we? Because last 2 weeks, for instance, the issue of whether or not they had received money, why he had received money to conduct these exams was brought to question. And we were told that 80 million was paid. It turned out not to be true. So, how sure are we that on Monday, our children will sit for these exams? And so, with all due respect, I expect the executive to have been doing. And so the Minister of Education should be called. If he cannot even do anything, he should come and wish BECE candidates the best of luck. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to use this opportunity to wish the 2024 BECE candidates the best of luck, and that we, the minority, are working hard to ensure that they have comfortable examination, even though the minister has neglected them. Mr. Speaker, lastly, Mr. Speaker, I asked my good friend, the Minister of Interior, to come and brief us on some happenings in my constituency. And he couldn't come. And I have made some effort to reach out to him. Anyway, I'll continue to make the effort. Thank you.
Okay. You have spoken today. Let me give it to him first. Yes.
Most grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the first issue I want to raise has to do with the advertised extended sitting on Mondays. Mr. Speaker, my concern has to do with our welfare. I mean, having been in this house now for close to 8 years, what I've noticed is that any time we have extended sittings, proper arrangements are not made, particularly with regards to sanitation and sanitary conditions, to do with our washrooms. And that is terrible. It's unacceptable. There are many times when, during extended sittings, when you enter our washrooms, in fact, if you do not resolve not to puke, you will. That's how terrible it is. So I want to use this opportunity to call on leadership, at least to speak to those in charge of, those who are undertaking the janitorial services, to ensure that our washrooms are properly manned, so we don't run out literally of tissue paper, which actually happens. Mr. Speaker, the second component has to do.
Honorable, I want to be clear about, are you talking about the offices or the chamber?
Mr. Speaker, here.
The chamber.
And many members would honestly agree with me. Here.
Yeah.
As a vandal, the truth stands, and I'm saying it as it is.
I just want to be sure where we are talking.
Very well. Mr. Speaker, the second issue has to do with our nourishment and our well-being. Mr. Speaker, extended sittings will require that we are properly nourished, so that physiologically and mentally we can continue to give up our best. But when you have extended sitting, and those of us who are supposed to extend the sitting are not properly fed, and we are not properly nourished, Mr. Speaker, our levels of productivity clearly will be diminished. So leadership should ensure that we are properly nourished and encouraged mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physiologically, so that we can give up our best. Mr. Speaker, the last issue I want to raise, which I had thought would be mentioned by the Deputy Majority Leader, has to do with the matter regarding the ongoing strike, industrial action, by the lecturers of our colleges of education. Mr. Speaker, you would remember that we had made an attempt through a supplication to your speakership to invite the Minister for Education to come and brief the House on what he was doing as a minister to ensure that the impasse was resolved as soon as possible, so that teaching and learning can resume on the 46 campuses of our public colleges of education. We were told by the Majority Chief Whip that the minister wrote back to Parliament indicating that by virtue of the matter being a labor-related issue, he was not the minister properly placed to address that issue, and that the issue ought to be directed to the Minister for Employment and Labor Relations. I believe we had a to and fro, but none of us is very clear about the conclusion as to what day the Minister for Labor and the Minister for Education would be here to speak to that issue and the time that will happen. And I believe, since it has to do with lecturers who are training the teachers that we need so badly in the classroom, is an issue of national importance that ought to be addressed. So I would want clarity on the way forward with regards to the impasse and which minister or ministers, as a house we have agreed, should come and address this very important matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also commend the Deputy Majority Leader for her presentation. Mr. Speaker, my first concern relates to her request to us to agree to have extended sittings. And she adds that because of the volume of work, and she kept it at that. I thought that she would have given us an indication of some of the work that she is referring to. Because going through the business statement, this one is even lighter than what we did this week, which was presented last week. So what is the nature of that volume of work? Please give us an indication so we know whether we should come along with you, agree with you or not. Because we don't want to come, have extended sittings, sit on Monday, and then there is really no work to be done. So please convince us, bring us along. Let us know the nature of the volume of work you are referring to. Then secondly, Mr. Speaker, we still do not have a date for the media review. We have entered July, and we know that under the law, this is the month. We cannot go beyond this month. So we must be given an indication. When is the finance minister going to appear before us to present the media review? Please give us a specific date so we can start preparing accordingly. Finally, Mr. Speaker, there are outstanding motions admitted by the Speaker. We have debated. All what is left is for the committees to be set up. And every week I will remind leadership, because leadership keeps telling us that they will meet with Speaker and put the committees together. I'm referring to the VRA spillage from the Akosobo Dam, that committee. Intelligence is that they are likely to start spilling again very soon. We haven't learned lessons. We haven't come up with any recommendations. Mr. Speaker, we need to have that committee to work. National Cathedral Committee of Inquiry, the deputy leader herself, when she filed a question this week, and she saw all the follow-up questions, she herself recognizes that we need to have that inquiry. There are so many issues, multifaceted, multidimensional, multi-sectorial. One parliamentary question cannot resolve all of those lingering matters. So when are we going to have these committees properly constituted to start work? We want to work. The Ghanaian people are looking up to us, and we cannot afford to fail them. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Annie, let her respond, then we continue. Yes, Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the Honorable, you have rightly given the directives as to the first person who rose, that is the Honorable Member. Unfortunately, I can't get the name right. But I'm referring to Honorable Dafiamapo's concerns. And I would say that it is not an unusual request. So we are going to liaise with the EC to come and give us a brief on what we have, the concerns that is being shared out here. And Honorable Dafiamapo has also some observation. No, I'm making reference to Honorable Yusuf. Yes, the Honorable Member for Bole Bamboy. Your observation is rightly placed, but we'll find space in the course of the week, especially with the road issues on the road and transport ministry. We will also explore the possibility of inviting the Minister for Trade in the course of the week or before the meeting ends to come and address these issues appropriately. On BECE, from my checks, Honorable Member, everything is on course and there's no problem as they prepare to write the exams. And so I don't think we need to split our heads on any concerns. Thank you very much. Honorable Apak, you are concerned about housekeeping issues. And I want to let you know that this is purely the responsibility of the committee, the House Committee. And once we are able to work on the selection of these committees, I'm sure that the issues that you are raising will be appropriately addressed. We need to conclude the committees before. And then on the issue of impasse between Labor and then the Education Ministry, there's an agreement between our whips that we are going to invite the Minister for Labor and Employment and then Labor and Education. And I want to assure members that before the end of the meeting, we are going to address this impasse. The impasse will be appropriately addressed. And Honorable Okujeto Blakwa, the North Tongue, the member for North Tongue. Yes, I mentioned the workload. And if you check properly on the current business statement, you realize that even on bills alone, we have about, currently under consideration, we have about 6 bills. And we have about 15 bills that has been indicated to be presented to the House before the end of the meeting. So I'd like you to know that truly, and you even mentioned the issue of questions. Members want their constituents to know that they are really advocating for their needs. And I believe with that, even if we find time and space, the number of questions that are outstanding will be dealt with appropriately. And then the motions. I think you have rightly answered your concerns. There are a number of motions that needs to be taken. And these are all part of the bill. We will have to ensure that we consider all these concerns and that the motions has to be admitted and taken before the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Let me start from the back. Yes.
Thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
Yes, on the media review, we have an indication on when we'll have it, but unfortunately, I cannot confirm to that till the Minister for Finance arrives. We will give you an indication in the course of the week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me commend the Deputy Minority Leader for her Majority Leader, well, soon to be Minority, for her attention to the concerns that have been raised. Mr. Speaker, mine is an appeal to especially the leadership of the majority and for that matter, the leadership of government business. Mr. Speaker, you notice that since the sitting started, many times, members of the majority are always less than members of the minority in the chamber. Mr. Speaker, and I don't think that speaks well for the seriousness that is expected to be attached to government business. Mr. Speaker, we on this side have a very, very important election to win to rescue this nation. But despite that tax, we still make ourselves available every time to help government to carry out its business. Mr. Speaker, it doesn't reflect well on us when we make the sacrifice of abandoning our constituencies and the very important task of campaigning only to support government business and to have the majority members of parliament mostly absent. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to make this passionate appeal to the leadership of the majority that even as we consider the business for next week and we pledge to support them carry it out, we'll want to see more commitment from their side and more members of parliament on their side also showing that same level of commitment to the business of government. So, Mr. Speaker, it's not enough for us to just accept to do business next week without a pledge and a commitment from the leadership of the majority that they will make their members available so that it can facilitate government work. I do appreciate the fact that it's a symptom of a party that is preparing to go into opposition. But they should be up and doing to ensure that they complement the efforts and the sacrifices that we are making to support government business. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I count on the leadership of the majority to do what is right.
Yes, Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm up to remind the leadership about our committed determination to get a Minister of Interior to appear before us to explain the emotional issue that we presented here about the murder of people in the Wa Central and in Bole. Mr. Speaker, the Bole Bomboy MP just made a casual mention of it. But I think that it's a very serious matter. If the minister, who I have a lot of confidence in, because of his previous work in Accra, Greater Accra, about cleaning Accra, which general policy of making Accra the cleanest city in Africa completely is a failure. I think that he should be able to explain why, or you should be able to explain why. When a date was fixed for him to come and explain, our constituents are asking questions. He hasn't done it, and you've not explained, as if it's a normal thing not to appear before us. Mr. Speaker, I want the deputy leader to fully explain why he's not here and to commit that he should be here on a specific day, the Interior Minister.
Are you referring to the Interior Minister who is sitting to our right?
Mr. Speaker, I'm referring to the fact that you made a directive that he should be invited. The leadership said that they are going to contact him and get him to appear on that Wednesday. That Wednesday has passed, he has not appeared, and they have not explained. I'm asking them whether they would now confirm that the date is set for him to appear. But if he can explain why he is not able to come, Mr. Speaker, all fair and good.
Very well. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Education Service has come out with a self-posting module, and the portal was opened today. This morning, I received a lot of calls from my constituency complaining bitterly that my constituency's name is not there. So all those trainees who want to be posted to my place could not find Central Tongue there. So I want to use the opportunity to extend an invitation to the Minister for Education.
Honorable colleague, this is not a business of Parliament. Yes, Jeffrey.
Hello, Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity, and we thank our colleague, the Deputy Majority Leader, for the soft tone in which she presented the business statement. It sounded better than
Breath of fresh air.
the one that is presented by the majority leader. So continue presenting it. But don't tell him that I said that when he comes back.
That's women's voice.
Mr. Speaker, you enjoy women's voice. You enjoy women's voice for women.
Honorable, you're commenting on your colleague's conduct on the floor. Let's deal with the business statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I noticed the deputy leader said she cannot confirm when the media review will be done. But last week I raised the issue that there are critical things that needed to be done before the media review is done. One of them is to have a committee of the whole. As we speak, common fund is in arrears of many months to district assemblies and many quarters actually, and we are not hearing anything. Mr. Speaker, I encourage the majority side to work towards having a committee of the whole, because you see, it's not a mere fact of we have organized a meeting. The structure of the meeting and those who are attending the meeting matters. That's my first point. Mr. Speaker, today is Friday once again. I've looked at the business statement for next week. I still can't find any intention of the government laying the free SHS bill. Mr. Speaker, today is another Friday. The majority side have presented a business statement without actually indicating when the free SHS bill will be laid. We cannot continue waiting this way, Mr. Speaker. No, they must necessarily.
No.
One day it is ready, it's coming the other Friday. Another day is at the ministry. Now it's on its way, not at cabinet. On its way to cabinet. They didn't say it's at cabinet. On its way to cabinet.
Another day, minority is rejecting.
Another day, the minority is against the bill. Against the bill, you haven't even prepared. A bill you haven't even prepared. We are against it. A bill you haven't even got. We are against it. Mr. Speaker, we encourage the majority. Bring the free SHS bill. In fact, we can amend the business statement. For the first thing on Tuesday, lay it Tuesday morning. For us to start working on it. First item on Tuesday morning, lay the free SHS bill. Mr. Speaker, those are the few words I have for the state.
Yes, leader, please. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to emphasize a very important point that was raised about time left. We barely have 3 weeks. In the business committee meeting, it was proposed that we start Monday meeting. We insisted that we begin that the following week, which is the 15th. Because we needed to talk to members and prepare them for it. This is a critical period where members are also busy campaigning. But I think the point that has been made is critical, and it goes to all of us as members of parliament. These 3 weeks is very crucial. We must be present in this house and to make sure that indeed if we are doing extended sittings, especially members on the majority side, must be here, and that point must be made. They must support the dying days of President Akufo-Addo. It's very critical.
At the government, he himself is not
so
the government that
this plea from Honorable Suhuyini is something I want to emphasize. As we do extended sittings, we must make. Okay, please, I will draw the dying days if you are not happy. Don't worry. So please, I think this is important. But the majority side must take government business seriously. The observation
Honorable
is a very honest
leaders.
one. It's a very honest one.
You should leave these things to the back bench. Front bench should let us manage. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I don't know. Somehow I take it that some of the questions that are being posed to me this morning, it's just to test my readiness to play politics. but I wait until I'm done. Honorable Suhili. Yes, Honorable Suhili. Yes, you appeal to the majority side. Your point is well taken. We've noted your concern, and we will appropriately address them. But let me assure you that where you are at the moment, that's where you're going to remain in the ensuing term. That we assure you. So you still have to deal with us to ensure that we participate in them. Right. Honorable people, you also have a concern. I'd like to mention that your concern about the appearance of the Interior Minister, I would want to address it by saying that for some time now, he was out of office, and I'm sure that the way to go about it, it's always under the invitation of, if you address your question or your invitation to the clerks will duly invite him, and I know that he's not going to evade coming to address those issues. And I believe that he's heard you rightly, and when the appropriate thing is done, by extending the invitation to him to attend upon the House, he will duly consent to that. We will also look at the minority chief whip on the Common Fund, Honorable Minority Leader, Chief Whip, on the Common Fund. I know that you and your brother, the Majority Chief Whip, are working on this issue. I don't know why you still find it necessary to rise to be talking about the issues that you are really working on at this point in time. And I know that maybe you want to score some points, but let's wait. You know that you are working on it, and you very soon your issues will be addressed. And then the free SHS bill. I want to assure you, I know, I'm 100% sure that it will be presented to the House as soon as possible. I know I'm not giving you details, but I'm very, very confident about that. I'm highly confident that the bill will be appearing, and I'm going to plead with you to support the bill. Yes. Yes. Yes, we have a deputy minority leader. Honorable Leader, you know where we are at this point in time. And you know our president is a Democrat. And definitely, he's not going to amend any constitution to stay in power. We are definitely going to go through the election and appropriately address and make sure that we stay in power. So please, don't ever think that we are trying to twist issues we are trying to twist issues and don't want to address what is appropriate for you. But I can assure you that we are all here together. There are a number of issues that we are trying to address, and you are privy to that. So let's not present ourselves in a way that we think that nothing is being done about our predicament. For the extended sitting, for the remaining part of the meeting, I know that we are going to do the needful and provide what will be good for the comfort of our members. Thank you very much.
Honourable members, the business statement for the ensuing week is hereby adopted. Now I can proceed to question time.
Speaker, it is so. Started off from item 7.
Item 7. Urgent questions to be answered by the Minister for Interior. The first question number 7A, is to be asked by the Honourable Member for North South. Is it Southeast or Southwest? Well, Honourable Johnson Kwekuedu. Well, he is not in the House. I'll move on now. Item 7B, to be asked by the Honourable Member for North Tong, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. You may ask your question.
I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Honourable Minister for the Interior what the Ministry's plans to protect land belonging to the Ghana Prison Service located at Roman Ridge in Accra, which are being encroached upon. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Right Honourable Speaker, the Ghana Prison Service land at Roman Ridge currently accommodates 3 prison institutions. That is the Senior Correctional Center, the Prisons Officers Training School, and James Camp Prison. Mr. Speaker, as part of measures to prevent encroachment on the land, the prison administration has since 2006 taken steps to construct a fence wall along the borders of the land. Currently, the entire area is completely fenced. Officers have been deployed to regularly patrol the boundaries to deter potential encroachers. As a result of these measures, there has been no encroachment on the land, except for litigation with 2 individuals who claimed portions of the land and were eventually awarded judgment in their favor on 4th of April 2012 and 31st March 2023, respectively. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Yes, Honourable.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the Honourable Minister for the Interior for his response. Is the Honourable Interior Minister aware that these litigants who are demanding to be given portions of the land and have this judgment, is he aware that the Ghana Prison Service has appealed the judgment, seeking to protect the land, and what kind of support is his ministry giving the Ghana Prison Service in this battle in the courts to Ghana Prison Service land?
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, my colleague is right. The processes of seeking justice in this country, it is for an agency under the to make an appeal where a court of a competent jurisdiction rules. Mr. Speaker, the Interior Ministry will the Ghana Prison Service in doing so. However, I want to put on record that no persons are above the law. So we shall continue to work and abide by the tenets of the judicial system in this country. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, my second supplementary question relates to the Lands Commission's role in all of this. It does not appear that the Lands Commission is supporting the work of the Interior Minister Service to protect the land. I hold in my hands a letter dated 6 July 2020, signed by Executive Secretary of the Lands Commission, Suleimana Mahama, addressed to the Director General of the Ghana Prison Service. And it reads, petition, lease granted in respect of plot number 6, situate at Roman Ridge Residential Area. In 2005, the Lands Commission, on behalf of the President of the Republic of Ghana, granted a lease over plot number 6, Roman Ridge Residential Area in Accra. And this is the prison service land in issue. In Accra, to Professor Kweku Appiah Edu, the lessee has brought to the attention of the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources and the Commission that he has not been able to take possession of the land. His land is being cultivated by persons who claim to have authorization from the prison service. Since the state has already committed the land, the Commission requests that the lessee be given access to the plot to honor the development covenants in the lease, copy attached. We look forward to your prompt action on this request. So here we are. The Lands Commission is contesting what the Interior Ministry is telling us. And he's saying that they have given portions of the land to this Professor Kweku Appiah Edu. So same government, conflicting status between Interior Minister and Lands Minister. What are you going to do to really resolve this matter and get the Lands Commission to align with the position of your ministry so that we can protect the Bosta Institute lands, which belongs to the Ghana Prison Service?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, if I heard my honorable colleague very well, he makes a statement making reference to a letter dated 2005, if I'm right, or 6.
Well, Mr. Speaker, to guide, the letter I read is dated 6 July 2020. And the Lands Commission is claiming the content, is claiming that they handed over portions of that land to the President in 2005. So that's where the 2005 comes in. Professor Kweku Edu is claiming that he has title from 2005. But the letter is dated 6 July 2020 to the Director General of the Ghana Prison Service.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, for ease of convenience, I shall read the last 2 lines of my response. And I did say that as a result of these measures, there has been no encroachment on the land, but except for litigation. And this litigation, Mr. Speaker, has gone through legal processes, and a ruling has been made. So the question between lands and interior and government not doing well does not arise, because a judgment has been made. And Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleague gave me an advice, which I took in good faith, for the prison service to make an appeal. So I think if it's the same person going back to what he just said, then I don't know whether I should carry on with his advice, or I don't know. I still want to be guided, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the Honorable Minister for Interior if he is aware that this gentleman, Professor Kweku Appiah Edu, who is a senior advisor to the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, according to the Ghana Prison Service, in these documents I have here, has gone to demolish portions of the fence that you have told us about, the fence you are constructing. Are you aware that he has led allegedly national security operatives? That is what the Ghana Prison Service is alleging. that they are national security operatives, and they have demolished portions of the fence, seeking to take over. Are you aware about this development, and what are you doing to assist the prison service?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, the gentleman in question is a distinguished gentleman, and for the records, when this matter started, he was not working for the Vice President. Mr. Speaker, the fact that somebody is working for a politician does not restrict him or her from pursuing his or her own private business. So that has to be cleared. Mr. Speaker, he did say, and he said it's alleged. Mr. Speaker, there isn't anything to substantiate that national security operatives, for that matter, have been assigned, or rather, if you like, approached by the same gentleman to go and demolish. And thirdly, it has not come to my attention that same has been done. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the Honorable Minister whether he is aware lands and facilities belonging to the prisons in Tamale have all been sold. And if he is aware, what steps is he taking, since that is the only accommodation for the prisons officers in Tamale?
Very well, if you have that answer, because this is outside the scope of question asked.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, my good friend Honorable Mutala is not a backbencher. Respectfully, I would have thought that he will come appropriately. I thank you very much. He hasn't filed a question, Mr. Speaker, so he should come file a question, then I'll come and answer. Mr. Speaker, this is...
I thought you had that answer, that's why I asked you.
Well,
if you don't have it, don't worry, I'll direct that.
Mr. Speaker,
Is coming.
To secure funds to expand and improve upon accommodation at the barracks without success. The service has for the past 20 years received proposals from developers for the development of the headquarters and the barracks in order to address accommodation challenges for the officers, but same has been unsuccessful. This can be attributed to the fact that either developers could not meet the needs of the service or they lost interest along the line. Mr. Speaker, in 2021, Ghana Prison Service received a proposal from a developer for the development of the cantonment barracks. The proposal met the expectations of the service, under which accommodation ranging between 1-bedroom apartments to 3-bedroom apartments would be provided for 440 officers, as against the current 330 within the barracks. Mr. Speaker, the project will also see the construction of a new headquarters building, and all other existing structures will be redeveloped into modern facilities. Right Honorable Speaker, this proposal has been received and endorsed by the officers as well as the Prison Council Service. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the Honorable Minister for the Interior that this proposal from the private developer, what is the developer getting in return? I don't believe that this is some Father Christmas who has just descended upon the prison service to do them a favor. What is he getting in return? Is he getting portions of the land? If he is, what size? What acreage? Let's know what the consideration is. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Obviously, the developer would want to get portions of the land. Mr. Speaker, I do not have the accurate size or measurement of the acres of land that the developer will get. But the answer to his question is that yes, the developer will get portions of the land. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, my second question is about this agreement. Since the Honourable Minister can't tell us now the portion of land that a private developer is going to have, can he commit to making a copy of the agreement available to this House so that we can all, this is our, it's a public project, it's a Ghana Prison Service. It shouldn't be shrouded in secrecy. In the spirit of transparency and accountability, can the Honourable Interior Minister make the agreement available to us in this House?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much, and I shall do so by submitting to the appropriate oversight committee. I thank you very much.
Or the Committee on Defense and Interior can also visit the headquarters and request all those information in the agreement and report to the House as suggested. You have one more.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for your directive. Mr. Speaker, my final supplementary question. Is the Honourable Interior Minister aware that the officers at the barracks have been asked to prepare to move out ahead of this arrangement? And what can he tell us about this whole directive? Where are they moving to? Is it fair to them? And how are they going to continue to serve our country? Because it appears there's some disquiet about this whole directive for them to move out of the barracks.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yes, I'm aware of that directive, but I'm also aware that as part of the processes of permanently settling the junior officers, in order for the developer to be able to build on the same parcel of land that they occupy, it is only proper for them to be temporarily relocated. And so, Mr. Speaker, information available to us is that they are going to temporarily relocate to rented accommodations. And when the project is over, they will come back and occupy. And Mr. Speaker, it is also important for my colleague to note that the developer is building over 400 vis-a-vis the current 340. So once that project is over, there is room to accommodate additional 100. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to know whether the minister is aware that the prison officers are to be relocated at Damfa, a distance too far away from their area of operations, and that is going to affect the security in the prisons in Accra.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I did indicate earlier that junior officers are currently living in 9 by 5 or 9.5 by 10 rooms. Now, when this project is successfully completed, it is expected that they will now live in a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartment, which will make it more comfortable for them to go about their duties. Mr. Speaker, Honorable B.T. Baba did ask. Mr. Speaker, to the best of my knowledge,
amount being taken over by the developer came through Parliament, and if that is the procedure. Thank you.
Yes. A question is, this arrangement, has it come through Parliament? If not, is it the proper procedure?
Mr. Speaker, the process went through by developer expressing interest, going through the process, which I know that usually it goes through Attorney General and all that advice comes back, and then it goes to the council. Council approves, and the Honorable B.T. Baba has been Director General of Prison, so he knows very well. It doesn't come to Parliament, with the greatest of respect.
I'll give only one, so choose among you which one.
Mr. Speaker,
all right.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I just want to find out, one, who the developer is and what engagement took place between the developer, the leadership of the prison service, and the officers who will be affected by this development, and how long the project is going to last. And so how long will this temporary measure for the officers who are going to be affected will have to be temporarily accommodated for? I will hasten slowly in commenting on the details of the contract, since the Speaker has directed I should come. But I just want to find out, who the contractor is and what sort of engagement took place between the leadership of the service and the officers who are affected by this development, and how long this temporary measure that has been made to cater for them will last. Thank you.
Yes, no moment.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, earlier on, my good brother, the Honourable Member for North Tomu, asked a question. Mr. Speaker, in presenting same to the Committee for Defence and Interior, we will make sure that all those details are provided. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
The next question. Leader, you want to ask a question? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I notice this arrangement the Minister talked about is the new thing in town. Not too long ago, we all saw DVLA, the police, even part of Ghana Airport Company land taken over, and it's being developed by developers. I think it's a thing happening right now. Mr. Speaker, can I ask the Minister, have you seen the completed negotiation document that warrants the prison service handing over prime land? And in your word, may we know the name of the developer? This is a government land being given, which it is common, or it is important for this House, the representatives of the people, to know the name of the developer behind this one. Can you tell us the name of the developer as part of the answer?
Honourable Leader, he has answered both questions already. The same questions. He has answered them. You are not paying attention.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, for the records, I did say that the current number of rooms being occupied is 9.5 by 10 feet, and most of them are single rooms. Mr. Speaker, again, for the records, currently the total number of accommodations is 330. Mr. Speaker, again, for the records, 440 is expected to be built. Mr. Speaker, again, respectfully, I crave your indulgence that when we present the full details to the Committee for Defence and Interior, all this will be included in it. I thank you very much.
I suggested that the Committee on Defense and Interior, go meet with the management, ask for every detail, and come and brief the House. The last of the urgent questions to be asked by the Honourable Member for Clotte Colley, Dr. Zanito Ajiman Rollins.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for the Interior if there is a platform.
Mr. Speaker, WAPIS is a regional system where data and information on criminal elements are shared amongst the various security agencies within the sub-region. Mr. Speaker, it serves as a platform for information exchange among immigration and other law enforcement agencies. Mr. Speaker, the ECOWAS immigration heads also meet regularly to share information and intelligence to promote border security and prevent transnational organized crimes. The last 7th ECOWAS sets of immigration meeting was held in Accra in May 2023. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. In the recent CAPS forum, some of the heads of immigration from the sub-region lamented about the fact that they actually do not have a common platform and therefore...
Now discharged. It is item 8. Regular questions are to be answered by the Honourable Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources.
Community water program to Samraboy community in the Amenfi West constituency. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for the Samraboy community is one of the priority projects to be undertaken in the Western region. The ministry is working with the Ministry of Finance to obtain the necessary funding requirements for implementation in the next budget year.
Yes, Honourable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for another opportunity. Mr. Speaker, Madam Minister, the same question was asked and was answered by your immediate past minister, Honorable Dr. Freda Akusuya Prempe, in last year, the last quarter, 2023. She indicated that to conduct a feasibility studies in the first quarter of 2024, for which the project will commence. So I would like to know from you, as a new minister, why have you rescheduled the project for 2025? Because according to your answer, this is a prioritized project. So why have you rescheduled the project for 2025, which it is uncertain for your government? Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for the budget we have for 2024, this project isn't scheduled to be constructed this year. That is why we will budget it in the 2025 budget to have the community that needs this water so much to be constructed for them. Thank you.
Well done. Very well. The next one is question number 2071. The name of the Honourable Member for Southton, Kobna Mensah Woyome. I'll move on. Question number 2116.
Former leader is very passionate about what she does, and she relates very well with the honourable member. So may I may I appeal that we find a much more better way to deal with this matter instead of the seeming banter, and I know my colleague understands.
Speaker, I take a cue. I will approach the minister.
Very well.
Minister, I'll come to the office.
Very well. Yes, Reverend, do you want? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, OT region has been mentioned. I just want to know from the minister which communities in the OT region that he's talking about 40 nanofiltration units. I want to know which communities in OT region that they have installed this.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So I said 20 was allocated to OT region, out of which 16 and some selected ECG prepaid vending points that accept payments on their behalf. Mr. Speaker, Ghana Water Limited has made a lot of progress in making the payment of bills more convenient to its customers and also improving on their engagement with stakeholders by introducing the Ghana Water Limited mobile application in 2019. The application, among others, can be used to pay and receive bills, view statements of payments, and to broadcast public announcements regarding challenges and improvements in water supply. I'd like to urge my colleague and the general public to download the application and utilize it for all subsequent engagements with Ghana Water Limited. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Gansa, any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I think I will have to engage my sister to resolve all auxiliary issues. So I rest my...
So you go to her office?
Yes, I'll go to her.
Very well. Very well. Honorable members, we bring question time to a close. And on behalf of the House, let me thank the Minister for attending upon the House to answer questions from her colleagues. Honorable Minister, you are discharged. Yes. Chief Whip.
Speaker, shall we proceed to take public business? And yes, at the commencement of public business, may we move to item 11R. Item 11R on pages 10 and 11 of today's order paper.
Very well. Honorable members, let's turn to page 10. Page 10, item 11. I think I is in page 9.
Speaker, R.
Oh, R for Robert.
And yes.
Oh, very well.
And it starts from 10 and ends at 11 with IV ending it.
Very well. So, honorable members, item 11R, page 10, by the chairman of the committee. Chairman of the committee,
Yes, Chairman. You have IV. Let's take them together.
Report of the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General of the Public Accounts of Ghana, ministries, departments, and other agencies for the financial year ended 31st December 2022. Report of the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on the statement of foreign exchange receipts and payment of the Bank of Ghana for the half year ended 30th June 2022. Report of the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on the consolidated statement of foreign exchange receipt and payment of the Bank of Ghana for the financial year ended 31st December 2022. Report of the Public Accounts Committee on the report of the Auditor General on the public accounts of Ghana, public boards, corporations, and other statutory institutions for the period ended 31st December 2022.
Honourable members, the reports of RI, IV have been duly presented. They are to be distributed to honourable members.
Speaker, shall we go back to 11F on page 6?
F. Very well. Honourable members, let's turn to page 6. Item 11F by the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources.
Budget Performance Report in respect of the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources for the period January to December 2023. Annual Statement by the Audit Committee of the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources for the year 2023.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. They are referred to the Committee on Sanitation and Water Resources for consideration and report.
Speaker, we are now ready to take item 64 on page 34, the National Service Authority Bill 2024 at the consideration stage.
Page 30.
Speaker, page 34. Speaker, may I seek your leave for the amendment to be moved by the ranking, by a member of the, yes, we'll do. A member of the committee, the reliable Honorable Ahiafo, for reasons best known to leadership.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to put it on record and to let the majority chief whip appreciate the kind of effort being put up by this side of the House. Even as members, we are working on behalf of chairman. This is how far we have gone with the work of this House. And I want to put it on record so that it will be appreciated as such. Anyway, we are incoming government, so we have no problem.
Because I think my colleague is speaking out of context. We've been working together, and this is a House. The orders allows him to do what he's about to do. And I've always commended you. But where I don't agree with you, yes, where I don't agree with you is that, yes, you are hoping to constitute government, but that way it will never happen. You are hoping to come to power, but you know it is impossible. You know it's impossible. So, without adding more, I think our colleagues should be allowed to lead the amendment and let all other matters take care of itself at the appropriate time.
It is possible.
Well. Yes, honorable members, let's turn to page 34, item 64, National Service Authority Bill 2024 at the consideration stage. Yes. I think we came to clause 18. Yes, now ranking.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, clause 18, the amendment in 1 and 2 has been moved by the House. Is for debate to continue and the question to be put.
You said clause 18. It has been moved
by the chairman of the committee. It's been debated. The debate is to continue so that you can put a question.
Well, honorable members, the ranking is saying clause 18 was announced, the amendment was raised, it was debated. We are yet to put the question. Did I get it right?
Mr. Speaker, if I may rehash by way of reminding members, by way of debate. Mr. Speaker, clause 18, the first amendment reserved clause 1, did it and it said the following. The President shall, in accordance with Article 195 of the Constitution, appoint a lawyer of not less than 10 years standing at the bar as a secretary to the board. And then the 2, add the following new sub-clauses after sub-clause 1. The secretary to the board is the head of the legal department of the authority. Mr. Speaker, we have passed several bills establishing authority, and then the rendition as proposed by the committee is the same. So for the sake of consistency, we should just adopt the rendition and move on. Mr. Speaker, this is a constitutional issue. Article 195 of the Constitution is clear. The power to appoint to public services is vested in the President. The President can only delegate it based on Article 195(2). So we cannot make law to say that the board should rather do the appointment. It means that we are contravening Article 195(1) of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. The 2, which gives the discretion to the President to exercise, is when the President wants the governing council or a member of the governing council to do the appointment, then the President will then do the delegation in writing. So we cannot be making law forcing the President or asking that instead of the President doing the appointment, the board should rather do the appointment. So we need to fulfill the constitutional imperative.
Yes. I'm come to Honorable Amakwata.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity, but I am raising another issue, not necessarily what my colleague was talking about. Mr. Speaker, clause 18, the amendment being proposed, that is 18 Roman number I and then II. I see some inconsistency there. Mr. Speaker, it's being proposed that the President shall, with your permission, I want to read. The President shall, in accordance with Article 195
of the Constitution, appoint a lawyer of not less than 10 years standing at the bar as secretary to the board. I do not have any qualms with that. But if you come to II, it's also being proposed that the secretary to the board is the head of the legal department of the authority, which means that, and we all know, of course, that national service is to become an authority, is an institution, an organization. But President appointing a lawyer from the bar does not necessarily mean that he is a member of staff. And if you are not a member of staff of an organization, how can you be the head of that department? You are not a member of staff of the organization because, for instance, Mr. Speaker, all of us, those of us who are privileged to be lawyers in this room, my good self, my colleague, the Honorable Defiamapo, we are all lawyers and we are all members of the Bar Association with good standing. The President could appoint anybody, to serve on the board as the secretary to the board. But you are not a member of staff. So how can you be a head of the legal department of the organization? I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
They list the board members as part of the management team leading the entity. So it is not that simplistic. That's one. Two, I think we have also over time and from other sister legislation, we've determined that when you have a board secretary who is young from outside to handle board matters, they often detach from the day-to-day operations of the entity. And so I think over some time now, we endeavor to make the head of legal to be the secretary to the board. That we have over some time. If I want to, you can come back. So this piece of this provision does not depart from our recent style of legislation. Or if I can come back with other positions. But Mr. Speaker, going back to my substantive view on these two clauses, I have observed that there's an apostrophe after the years. I think it should be taken off. The 10 years standing, 10 years, there's an apostrophe after the S. We don't do that. So if table office can take that off. Then the new addition, which is that the secretary to the board is the head of the legal department of the authority. I want to further propose that instead of is, we insert shall be the head of the legal department of the authority. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I want to revisit my position. Mr. Speaker, if it takes the form that National Service Authority, if it's so created, should engage an in-house lawyer, and that the in-house lawyer should serve as the secretary, say, for instance, secretary to the board. Then he is a staff and could be a secretary to the board. But if the president appoints a lawyer from the outside, no, he cannot be automatic member of the authority and for that matter, head of the department. Let me give you a practical scenario. You, Honorable Defiamapo, you are an astute lawyer. In an unlikely event that your party is in power,
No, unlikely event that your party is in power and the president appoints you as a lawyer to be secretary to the board. How can you, at the same time, be a member of staff and be a head of that legal department? It's impossible. It's impossible.
No, it is possible.
No,
hold on. It is possible. I only will decline because I'm a member of parliament. So it is possible that I can be appointed, but I will decline because I'm a member of parliament and I cannot be the head of departments. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, accepting this rendition will lead to creation of unnecessary impediments to obstruct the performance and functioning of the authority. If you look at the current form of the law, I see nothing wrong with the way it stands, the clause 18. Secretary to the board. The head of the legal department of the authority is secretary to the board. And 2, the secretary to the board shall A, arrange the business of the board, record and keep minutes of the meetings of the board, and perform other functions that the board may direct in writing. Mr. Speaker, now you are saying that the president shall, in accordance with Article 195 of the Constitution, appoint a lawyer of no less than so and so to be a secretary to the board. Mr. Speaker, if you go to the 19th, the mode of appointment, secondment, and all those things are there. But Mr. Speaker, we say we want to create an authority that may be effective and efficient in its functioning. Bringing other people, like the president who will appoint the CEO or whoever may be, then I, because I'm a lawyer of 10 years, I may also be appointed to be secretary to the board, then be it and all those things. We should take practical observation of that, even though it's not yet formed, but the rendition the chairman is bringing may bring a lot of obstructions and impediments. So the chairman should withdraw that amendment and let's keep it the way it is. That is my version. Read the 19th very well and it will cater for your problem. If you read the 19th, the secondment and all those things are there. What is my question?
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the power of the president to appoint stems from Article 195. And it is important if you look at Article 195(1). It says, subject to the provision of this Constitution, the power to appoint persons to hold or to act in an office in the public service shall vest in the president. So the president is appointing the person to act in a public service. It's not just appointing you at the bar, you remain at the bar and you do a secretary work. You are being appointed to hold public service. Now, the authority is now being established. So, now that the authority is being established, all those who are going to be appointed under Article 195, including other staff, will then become the staff of the authority. So it is not possible that you are appointed under Article 195 and you will not become the staff of the authority. The authority is now being established. That is why the law is again saying that in appointing the person as the secretary, take into consideration the background of the person, because that person will then be used as the head of the legal department of the authority. That's it.
Yes, come to leader.
Mr. Speaker, the issue being raised by the honorable member for Etiwa is in respect of
the appointing authority of the president. I'm not too sure which provision is relevant in this case. Sometimes we're using Article 70. At times we're using 195. I think we should be consistent because we've been really referring to Article 70 and not 195. Even though 195 also has some relevance. So let's be consistent. That's number one. Number two, Mr. Speaker, is in respect of the composition of the board. The governing body of the board includes the minister responsible for employment, so and so, the minister responsible for finance, and so on and so forth. They are not staff of the board. You cannot argue that the minister responsible for employment, the ministry responsible for employment, nominating somebody from that ministry to the board makes that person a staff of the board. No, it's not. But, Mr. Speaker, we are talking about the board. Now, the secretary to the board is the person that we are addressing. So, it's the board. And I'm saying to you that whoever serves on the board may not necessarily be a staff of the board. That's number one. Mr. Speaker, what we haven't done neatly there, because we are talking about departments. We have indicated that some departments may be established. That is by the authority. Then, from nowhere, we are saying that the secretary to the board is the head of the legal department. We need, as we have been doing, to establish those departments. So perhaps we could say that without prejudice to so and so, there shall be a legal department. Let's get the construct better so that it can then flow from it. That is what is missing.
Yes.
Let me refer you to the Road Authority bill that we just passed. Honourable Member for Atiwa is sponsored this particular bill. Clause 17, the President shall, in accordance with Article 195 of the Constitution, appoint the Secretary for the authority. Now, let's go to 19. 19 says appointment of other staff. Then the President shall, in accordance with Article 195 of the Constitution, appoint other staff of the authority. So, the staff of the authority are appointed by the President. In other words, former Majority Leader raised an issue about Article 70. Article 70 is talking about different things altogether because it reads 71. The President shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State, appoint A, the Commissioner for Human Rights. The list has been provided, and that is quite different from the public services under Article 195. There are two differences because the B is saying the Auditor General, the C is saying the District Assembly's Common Fund Administrator, the D, the Chairman and other members of a Public Services Commission, the Lands Commission, the governing bodies of public operations, a National Council for Higher Education is dealing with the E. The E is saying that the holder of such other offices as may be prescribed by this Constitution or by any other law not inconsistent with the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, if you look at this provision as related to Article 195 that we are referring to, you realize that Article 195 is directly on the issue. So when you even have a general provision and a specific provision, It is the specific provision that prevails over the general provision. Because this one, you are going to hold office in public service.
Mr. Speaker, I brought that one in because we have been inconsistent. And I'm suggesting that on occasions we are resorting to Article 70. For instance, you now have what's the latest one? I think it's the Boundaries Commission. You are referring to it's not the Public Services Commission. It says the Boundaries Commission. I'm saying that we are now resorting to Article 70 in many of the laws. I'm just saying that we should be consistent. But having said so, Mr. Speaker, the establishment of the committees of the departments is under 13. That is, the board, on the recommendation of the Director General, establish directorates and departments of the authority that are necessary for the effective and efficient performance of the authority. May have a legal department. I'm just saying that there, we could then make a reference to 30, that without prejudice to 30, the authority may establish a legal department, which shall be headed by so and so, as we've been doing in many of the laws that we've been crafting. That's just the import of what I said. And then, Mr. Speaker, I was also saying that we should sanitize the AT on account of if the person is going to be a staff. I agree that appointing the person into office, being the secretary to the board, will have to be done by the president. So I agree with the language, but then that person must belong to the legal department, right, as a staff. But you haven't even created a legal department. You just came to say that you shall be the head of the legal department. Even though under 13, you are saying that some department will be created. And that is why I'm saying that we should reference 13, as we have been doing, that without prejudice to this, sometimes we list some of the departments. Other times we say that, yes, without exhausting the list, we should create this. That is all that I'm saying, so that we are clear in our minds as to what we are doing.
Speaker, I think that we need to make some progress. So, like we did yesterday, we deferred because of the debate. It was deferred for the draft department to tidy it up, so that we can defer to them and move on to the other provisions. Then the concerns can be taken into consideration, and the drafters will tidy it up, so that Tuesday it will be advertised for us to take it. Yeah.
Yes, Honorable Talabi.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I've been wondering what precedents my other colleague, Ahiapo, was making reference to a law that was made just last week. Yes. And I think that if that is what happened, then it is in error. Because, Mr. Speaker, what it means is that we have a situation where the president would have to be appointing heads of department directly. Yes, that is what it means, Mr. Speaker. If they will have to appoint the secretary, who then becomes per the law. But if you have the department established, and then the head of department becomes the secretary, then that one, the board will have, the power to appoint, or the authority will have the power to appoint whichever staff who heads the legal department, becoming the secretary to the department. And I think that there are examples, Mr. Speaker, there are examples. When you take the University Council, the registrar automatically is the secretary to the council. Is the secretary to the council. This situation, Mr. Speaker, would overly
politicize, even appointment at a lower level. Because you can imagine where the president appoints a secretary to the board who becomes the head of the legal department. What kind of situation are you looking at? No. Yes, but if it is, per your explanation, everybody, including the cleaner, is appointed by the president. But
yes.
The three deputy director generals for departments of Ghana Highway and urban roads and feeder roads, they are not outsiders. They become members of staff. Then they can be heads of departments. But what we are considering now, as it stands, is like the president will appoint a lawyer from outside, and then the lawyer automatically becomes head of department in an organization. And that's why I agree with Honorable Terry Labi. It means that we are giving authority to a president to appoint a head of department in an organization. And it's inconsistent with the establishment of the organization.
Mr. Speaker, with all due respect,
I haven't called.
Mr. Speaker, let me just make this particular point to clarify the situation.
No,
unlike the rules of
Honorable, I haven't called you.
Very well.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there was a very serious and hectic debate on this same clause. There was a serious and hectic debate on this same clause yesterday. And the decision was made to defer it. And here we are again spending precious time on a matter that we're supposed to defer to allow for the chair of the committee to work with the drafters for a new rendition that we can reconsider. So, Mr. Speaker, I would suggest that we make progress. Whilst this,
the president can decide to appoint 3 people.
Office shall have a director. The full complement should really read a regional or district office shall have a regional or district director. I don't know whether you may want to add as the case may be or respectively. Yeah. Just so as we follow the current drafting style. It's not really much. That's just for 21. The preamble, 21.1. Just that. Just to clean that one up.
Yes, honourable members, I think the leader wants her to raise the same
carry out
point.
his amendment. It doesn't really affect the text of the law. So his proposed amendment can be carried out.
No, Honourable Hiaf, I didn't hear you.
Mr. Speaker, I'm seconding his amendment because he said 21 should be a regional or a district office shall have a regional or a district director. So it doesn't matter if it is repeated. The intendment is the same. It makes it neater.
So, honourable members, there is a further proposed amendment by our former leader. I'll put the question, all those in favor of the further proposed amendment to clause 21, say aye. All those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The further proposed amendment to clause 21 is carried. And the question is, all those in favor that clause 21 as 28.
3. Funds of the committee. The E says monies derived from projects or initiatives undertaken by the authority with the approval of the board. Speaker, we have seen instances where the service has engaged in farming, for instance. Is it a project be undertaken by the authority or the service. I just want us to think through so that we get it.
Mr. Speaker, the E has been deleted.
Oh, you have deleted it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I wasn't here.
because of the internally generated fund.
Okay.
So
that's okay.
It's been deleted.
Okay. I wasn't around.
Yes, yes.
I wasn't around. It's been deleted. Very.
So I should put the question 29. Oh,
Speaker, the newly proposed 29, the first line, the qualifying phrase there is dangling. So I propose that it be moved to before publish, to read, the authority shall, before posting persons qualified to undertake national service, publish within 4 months. The within 4 months is qualifying the publication. But the way it is dangling, is where it is placed in the construction is dangling. So my new rendition will be, the authority shall, before posting persons qualified to undertake national service, publish within 4 months, ABC. I so submit. Thank you.
yes, Honorable Dafiamapo, I think you have allowed me to put the question on 29 first. What you are proposing. Leader, you want to say something? Yeah, it's a new clause after 29. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, clause 29, add the following new clause as advertised. Mr. Speaker, as so moved.
Honorable Ahiafo, I think I should put the question first before we can come to the new
clause.
Yes.
Very well, sir.
So I'll put the question to 29. All those in favor that clause 29.
No, Mr. Speaker, the new clause is an addition to clause 29. It's going to be part of clause 29. So it must be taken so that you can put the question on all the amendments to clause 29.
Okay.
Yes. So I moved clause 29 as advertised. Add the following new clauses as advertised. And
Well,
he
well.
has amendment to the proposed amendment.
Well. There is a proposed amendment to 29. All those in favor?
I want to humbly oppose to his proposed amendment. The rendition is that the authority shall, within 4 months, before posting persons qualified to undertake national service, published. Then A, in at least 2 daily newspapers of national circulation. Then B, on the website of the authority. And C, in any other medium determined by the board. So I think this particular rendition is neater.
Yes. Is that okay? Yes, Honorable Dafiamapo.
Speaker, that is the proposal from Ranking and our chairman of the committee. But I'm saying that the qualifying phrase, which is within 4 months, is dangling where it is placed. It is. The within 4 months is qualifying the publication. It is the publication that is to be done within 4 months. So it has to be moved from where it is so that it reads, the authority shall, before posting persons qualified to undertake national service, publish within 4 months. ABC. So that's my proposal. I so
Yes.
submit, Mr. Speaker.
Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I believe the original construct is better grammatically than what my colleague is proposing. So it's we should rather maintain what is that's better grammatically, not what is proposing.
So I'll put the question. All those in favor of the proposed amendment to clause 29 as listed as IV in today's order paper, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment is carried. And now, all those in favor that clause 29 as amended stands part of the bill, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable, the ayes have it. Clause 29 as amended is directed to stand part of the bill. Clause 30.
Application by user agency for national service personnel.
Yes, Ranking.
Mr. Speaker, clause 30, amendment proposed, sub-clause 1, delete. Mr. Speaker, the rationale is consequential to the proposed new clause in 29.
Yes, there is a proposed amendment to delete. Yes, Honorable
Ranking, because clause 31 and 29 appear to be repetitive. That's why he's asking for it to be deleted. But, Mr. Speaker, it looks as if he has not adverted his mind to subclause 2, 32. Yes, the 32 remains, but if you remove the 1, it does not flow to the 29. It does not flow. Yes. So if the deputy ranking, could look at it again. But I know that 32 remains. You want to remove the 31 because it's not only repetitive, but it's also superfluous, compared with 29. So what should be the new rendition then? And how do you position the 32? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I was going to seek your leave to propose an amendment to the cross-referencing. 32 makes reference to subsection 1, which is deleted. And because subsection 1 is now section 29.3, so we'll introduce, or the new rendition for 32 will be a user agency may, in response to a notice under subsection 3 of section 29, apply to the authority for the posting of national service personnel to the user agency. So the cross-referencing is now changing. So, Mr. Speaker, that amendment should be carried out.
Very well. Very well. So I'll put the question. Clause 31.
Application to undertake national service.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, clause 31, amendment proposed, head note after undertake, insert or defer. Mr. Speaker, the reason being that the application will be for a deferral and then undertaking national service.
Yes. Is there any?
Then the and will be deleted.
Stop that, it's a minister.
It will be the new rendition, the opening phrase.
Yes. Honorable members. Honorable members, VII. On clause 31, there is a proposed amendment. All those in favor?
Speaker.
Yes, leader.
I don't know what is meant to be achieved by the deletion of the word "and" from there. Yes. Because it provides a person who qualifies to undertake national service and has completed a course. If you delete the "and," then it will mean, or it will read, a person who qualifies to undertake national service. The use of the disjunct between A and B. If you read it together, person who qualifies to undertake national service shall apply to the authority to undertake national service, or "and." That's the little thing there.
Mr. Speaker, the "or" there, though is not supposed to be deleted. The "or," though not advertised, is supposed to be deleted. Yes.
So, honorable members, all those in favor of the proposed amendment to clause 31, listed in today's other paper as IX, say aye.
Mr. Speaker, I believe we should leave the disjunct or the conjunct there to address persons between A and B. Because if you take the "or" there, you take the "or" from there, it's going to also cause a problem.
Well.
Leave it to address persons.
So IX drafters, please, Sena and your team, look at clause 31 and IX. Again, so we moved same clause 31.
Mr. Speaker, clause 31 amendment proposed, sub-clause 3, line 1. Delete 4 months and insert 21 days. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, just as I was saying, I think the drafters have a proposal that will cure what we are talking about. You have that one? Yes. So if I can read it so that we don't come back.
I more or less referred it to them. That
So that we have a sense.
Anyway, if you have it now.
Yes, so we don't come back.
Okay.
The proposal is that the person who qualifies.
31 IX. You have something to say? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I have further proposal.
Okay.
On BECE. I find the 5 years to be too much. If we could revise it to 3 years, because giving the person up to 5 years is, in my view, is too long a time for the graduate.
Well, that is his view. Say the 5 years is too much. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, at the committee level where he was present, we raised this particular issue. But from the Secretariat, sometimes deferral of national services as a result of a further study that the person is going to undertake, masters and PhD. So given the period within which the person can complete his masters and PhD, 5 years is adequate to defer a national service.
Well. So the question is, all those in favor of the proposed amendment for which new rendition was given by our former leader, that is item listed IX. All those in favor say aye. All those against say no. Now remember the ayes have it, the proposed amendment is carried. Yes, Honorable Hiafo, you wanted.
Mr. Speaker, clause 31 amendment proposed, sub-clause 3, line 1. Delete 4 months and insert 21 days. Mr. Speaker, the committee felt that 21 days is enough for the committee to be responding to the applications. But the number of months as stated here, the 4 months, is too long.
Very well. All those in favor?
Speaker, in clause, if I recall, we stated that the applications before persons are posted, they should apply within 4 months before the authority will post them. And the publication. Now, if we are asking the authority to respond within 21 days, at what point will the publication end? Because you have to apply for your name to be published. Yes.
So, should I put the question?
No, I want a clarification.
Okay, then put off your mic.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, what that rendition is talking about is that 4 months before posting national service personnel, the list will be published. And when the list is published, within that particular 4 months, you can apply. But when you apply as a user agency, the authority, upon receipt of your application, should take a decision within 21 days rather than for another 4 months. So, for the authority to consider your request, the authority cannot be using 4 months to consider your request. So, they should be able to consider your request within 21 days, which the authority or the sponsors of the bill are comfortable with, that when they receive the request from the user agency, within 21 days, they should be able to take decision and respond to the user agency.
Is it the user agency or the person who has applied to undertake national service? We are not talking about user agencies here. We are talking about somebody who is qualified to undertake national service. So there are two different things, ranking. To be after a certain period. Or is it the interment of the house that as and when you apply, the authority must respond to your application within 21 days upon application?
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker. Yes. Is this 3 months before you exit, let's say the tertiary institution, they will submit your names, all those people who are proposed to exit to national service, 3 months before you exit the institution. Now, within 4 months after they have had it, they will publish that we are going here, we are going there, places A, B, C. Usually, those of them who submit will not submit any application again. Those of them who submit will not submit any application. But those who want to be exempted would submit the application that for reasons maybe A, B, C, we're not able to do that. Now, when they have it, because the user entity will be expecting you to be there. First of all, the 4-month period is to enable you to prepare adequately. You are in Accra, you are going to Gambaga, you are served notice, and then you need to prepare. So 4 months should be enough for you to prepare. You publish and then you prepare to go. If you cannot go, you submit your application. And now the original proposal was that they have 4 months within which to respond. And they are saying that it should rather be 3 weeks or 21 days upon receipt of your application to respond to you that, well, we have received it, you have granted it. or the reason that you have given to us is not plausible. So you will still have to go and, submit yourself to the national service. So the 21-day period is adequate, and I think we should move on. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, after receipt of the application is also there, but just to also say that the Director General and his entire team were there. And after discussion, they saw that it's doable within 21 days. And so that is it. They are ready to do it within 21 days. So for 21 days after receiving all this, and someone wants to defer or someone is demanding for exemption, within 21 days, we should be able to respond to that person. So the person can know what to do next, whether it's being denied or is going to go to do the national service. Oh, the Director General said he can do it.
So what is the new rendition? What is the position? 21 days. Very well. So the question is, all those in favor of the...
Please, Speaker, listening to leader carefully, it means that, you see, the application being referred to in one is either an application to undertake national service or to defer. But you spoke about deferment, essentially. So, because I don't think we are saying that when a person applies to undertake national service, when a person is qualified to undertake national service, the authority is expected to respond.
But then the submission of the name is taken as a given, as your application. Yes, so I think if we allow it to be there, that's it.
So now the question is, all those in favor of the proposed amendment to cross 31, 31, item listed X, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable Member, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment is carried. Honorable, I'm coming. I'll come to you. Cross 31 XI.
Mr. Speaker, clause 31, amendment proposed, sub-clause 4, line 1, after application, insert for deferral. And Mr. Speaker, the new rendition will read, a person whose application for deferral is granted shall comply with the conditions of the authority national service. Mr. Speaker, so.
Honorable members, all those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment is carried.
Mr. Speaker, I think, yes, 32.
No, 31. We are still 31. Honorable Makata is 31.
Okay, 31. Okay.
So all those in favor say aye. All those against say no. Honorable, the ayes have it. The proposed amendment is carried. Now let me put the entire clause 31. All those in favor that clause 31, as variously amended, stands part of the bill, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Clause 31, as variously amended, is directed to the bill. Yes. Now clause 32.
Determination of field of operation for national service.
I thought you would want to revisit your 18 and conclude it before you continue with the other one. We stand the risk of coming back another time and this whole thing gets so much debated. We are here, we seem to understand what's going on. Let's finish with it. It's only a tiny little point. Let's conclude it. The 18. The clause 18. The new
Honorable Minister, we spent almost 40 minutes.
I'm told.
40 minutes
but
on
I've just been told
that
those,
particular
those
clause.
who didn't understand now appreciate.
So we've referred to a team. Probably I'll ask you to join the team.
Then let me join. When are we coming back with this? This afternoon or another day?
Tomorrow.
Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
One I have to Munya and Muchacho. Just wondering, why, Mr. Speaker, do we have to put, if you cease to be a member of the board, how do you become the head of the legal team? I mean, what sense does it make?
Honorable, you come back. Mr. Minister. Honorable Dafiamapo, Honorable Ahiafo, and a former leader, and yourself. Yes, now let's move to 32.
Mr. Speaker, clause 32. Amendment proposed. Sub-clause 1, line 2 and 3. Delete for purposes of national service. Mr. Speaker, the new rendition will be subject to this act. The authority may in writing direct a person qualified to undertake national service to be engaged in a field determined by the board. Mr. Speaker, you are being engaged to do national service. So to indicate again for purposes of national service is superfluous. That is why the committee is proposing that for purposes of national service be deleted.
Yes. Honorable Member for Tiwa West.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, that is where I have a little issue with my colleague. Mr. Speaker, I want to direct my colleagues' mind to page 4, clause 2. The head note, objects of the authority. Line 2. Line 2. The purpose of national service is clearly stated under the objects. Line 2, and Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I want to read in part. National service should be to undertake national service in areas of national priority for national development. National priority for national development. So, Mr. Speaker, a lot of people have been engaged to undertake national service in certain areas. I do not want to make references to specific, that had no reference, no national priority or national development perspective. So if we say that to be engaged, anybody who is qualified to be engaged to undertake national service, it must be for the purposes of national service. And the purpose of national service has been stated under objects of clause 2A, so that we avoid a situation of people being engaged as if they are doing national service, but their engagement has nothing to do with offering a service to the nation and for national development. We have had a lot of such instances. So the emphasis for the purpose of national service will then enjoin authorities to ensure that you don't engage people just for national service in name and then give them jobs that are not of relevance to the state. So I think that emphasis is necessary. So I disagree with his deletion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, the functions of the board is to the attainment of the object of the authority. Mr. Speaker, the rendition is saying that subject to this act, the authority may in writing direct a person qualified to undertake national service to be engaged in a field determined by the board. So if the functions of the board is to ensure that the object of the authority is achieved, why would the board allow you to go and do national service in an area that you are not supposed to do the national service, or in an area that will not be in the conformity with the object of the board? So the rendition is rather trying to cure and allay your fears that the board is not going to make a determination for national service to go and work at a place that the services is not required within the object of the board. But what we are saying is that it is subject to this act, the authority may in writing direct a person qualified to undertake national service to be engaged. So you are qualified to undertake national service and you are going to be engaged in a field that is determined by the board. So the word for purposes of national service doesn't even cure your concern. It means that wherever you are going to undertake your national service will have to be determined by the board. And the functions of the board is when the object of the authority is achieved.
Mr. Speaker, I am not concerned about the decision of the board. We all know, you and I know, the functions of a board. A board in any institution, a board in any organization determines the broad general framework and the direction of the organization. But the actual performance of the activities in that organization is undertaken by management. The board may decide the areas for national service, which will conform to the law, areas of national priority, areas of national development. But again, you and I know that the day-to-day posting of personnel to undertake national service is done internally. It's not the board. The board decides on the general framework, but I do not want to go into citing specific examples. Otherwise, I could do that. But if you were to know, and not today or yesterday, but since the inception of national service, if you were to know certain areas that people were posted to undertake national service being paid from the national purse, no, it will overwhelm you. Ridiculous. No. So the day-to-day posting is done internally by officers and officials. People go there to influence the post awards and all that. So the emphasis that wherever and whoever is posted for the purposes of national service, so that it becomes like a caveat. So should anybody post any personnel to any place that does not conform to the law or benefit the state, the person could be taken on. No.
Yes, leader.
Mr. Speaker, I think respectfully, the concerns of my colleague, the member for Atiwa West, is really taken care of under the object of the authority. Yes, I agree with him that the daily postings of these people may not be in the hands of the authority, of the board. The board will determine the broad areas. But the authority in posting you should be guided by the functions, indeed the object of the authority, which is in 2A, that they must mobilize and post persons qualified under Section 20A to undertake national service in areas of national priority and national development under the object of the authority of it.
So I'll put the question. All those in favor of the proposed amendment to cross 32 say aye. All those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. Cross 32 proposed amendment is carried. And now all those in favor that cross 32 as amended stands part of the bill say aye. All those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. Cross 32 as amended stands part of the bill. Cross 33.
Duration of national service.
Yes. Ranking.
Mr. Speaker, clause 33, amendment proposed, head note after duration, insert and scope. So the new rendition will be duration and scope of national service.
Honourable members, all those in favor of the proposed amendment? Yes, Honourable
Speaker, with all due respect, I disagree with the proposed amendment. Mr. Speaker, there's no need for us to add scope to the duration. If you read the entire provision under the head note, it talks about the duration. So adding a scope, I have a problem. Now, Mr. Speaker, I also think that in addition to the existing provision, we should be able to make a provision for a minimum period that will qualify for that will qualify to be certified as having undertaken national service. We have indicated that national service will be for 1 year. If you are desirous of extension, you make an application to that effect. But I think that for that 1 year period, for instance, 6 months should be a minimum period certifiable as having undertaken national service. There's nothing like that in the law. There's only an indication that there could be some limited period of 6 weeks training, for instance, in the security services. That is not a minimum period. So I think that we should make a provision for a minimum period which will be determined as having undertaken national service. So that if national service is for 1 year, the law should indicate that if you undertake national service for 6 months or more, but less than 1 year, you should be able to be certified as having undertaken national service. That's my opinion on this provision. And I think that the scope is not necessary.
Mr. Speaker, if you look at the subsequent amendment proposed by the committee, one is saying that the duration for mandatory national service is 1 year, consisting of the field service. Then two, despite subsection 1, national service may, within 1 year period, including training for a minimum period of 6 weeks in areas including military training, pedagogy training, emergency response, health aid, and safety measures. So these are coming by scope. So if we take into consideration the proposed amendment in XIV, the concern of my brother Roxon Dakamako is addressed. Because the period is indicated there, 1 year, and then the scope of it, 6 weeks, what you should do, areas that you should do it. So this is coming by way of a scope.
Speaker, those are specialized areas. Those are specialized areas. So I may withdraw my litigation of the addition of the scope. I won't litigate it. But when you take the ordinary national service, somebody who does not fall within these specialized areas, which is the security services, pedagogy, and all that, if I'm posted to the classroom, if I'm in the classroom, there's a mandate, the scheme says there's a mandatory national service for a period of 1 year. But I'm saying that the law should be able to make it in such a way that if I serve for a minimum period of 6 months before the 1 year is up, and for some reason I am unable to continue, it should be good enough to be certified as having undertaken national service. That's the point I'm making. The maximum period is 1 year, 12 months. That's the national service period, mandatory. But I'm saying that there should be a minimum period for which, when you serve, it should be regarded as having undertaken national service, for which a national service certificate should be issued. The other made in terms of the spoke are all fine.
I think he should hold his breath when we get to clause 37. Then we can deal with his concern, because clause 37 is talking about failure to complete national service. And it reads, a person who fails to complete national service may apply to the authority to retake national service. 2, a person under subsection 1 shall indicate the reason for the failure to complete national service. Now, where the authority grants an application under subsection 1, the authority shall issue the applicant with a personal identification number. Then 4, a person is considered failed to complete national service under subsection 1, where that person is absent from post for a period of 3 cumulative months. So this is what the law is saying. When you absent yourself for 3 cumulative months, it will be deemed that you have failed to do your national service. But beyond that particular 3 months, then you will be considered to be entitled for the certificate. So, Mr. Speaker, my proposal and suggestion to him is that once he's not opposed now to the head note, we can carry the head note and go on with the amendment. When we get to clause 37, whatever concern that he's having, he can raise it, because he stated a few minutes ago that he will no longer litigate adding scope to the head note.
Mr. Speaker, 37 doesn't address my concern. 37 is where somebody who is serving deliberately for some reason abandons post. That's not what my concern is. My concern is that we are legislating. So for me, it's a problem for me if this House will say that you legislate and say that you have not undertaken national service until you serve for a continuous period for 12 calendar months. I don't think we can do that. There should be a period within the minimum period and the maximum period.
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the point that my colleague is making. It's safe to say that already we are talking about allowing some people to defer. Right. Now, immediately you say the service period is determined by law to be 1 year, 12 months. Now, you are saying that we should have a minimum to the 12. Let's assume that we say that, okay, the minimum is 9 months. I can assure you that every one of them will apply to do 9 months. Every one of them will apply to do 9 months. Let's assume that all of them are going to be posted to schools to teach. Then 9 months they all abandon work, and the children will be left orphaned for 1 academic year. Even though I understand why you are saying this, that in some instances They apply to the authority, or if you like, the board, for exemption. And because it's made, that body is made up of human beings who we believe are not going to act arbitrarily. They may understand. But immediately you begin to shorten the period, it could be a problem. It could be a problem, especially those of them who are posted elsewhere. I mean, even here in Parliament, we have national service persons being posted here to assist our staff. And then, if you declare a minimum period of 6 months, after 6 months, then they all leave. What will be the essence of their work here? The national service is supposed to also inculcate into them a sense of patriotism and nationalism. So I'll plead, even though I appreciate that in certain cases it may become necessary for a national service person to apply to be exempted for maybe a month or 2 months, whatever, right? And I believe that they may grant the request. So, Honorable Roxanne, if you may allow us to proceed. The Speaker, my worry on this subject, and I see that the committee is making some attempt to rope them in, that is talking about, I was going to suggest that we not just limit it to military training, but for performing acts in connection with national security. That is being drafted into the forces. Mr. Speaker, being conscripted. That is the language of Article 41. It is not my saying. And that's the only place in the Constitution where national service is mentioned. So let's see a way to, include it. Other than that, we are just reducing this to a post-tertiary education exercise. And that is not the intendment of Article 41.
Yes, offer. Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, I agree to the amendment being proposed in principle. Can I go on? Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I say I agree to the amendment being proposed in principle because to add and scope means that the duration will deal with time. That is the period. As it's been argued, whether 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. The duration deals with time. The scope will deal with the activities that may be proposed to go with national service. Mr. Speaker, our history should always remind us. I remember, as far as my memory goes, in the time of our late former president, His Excellency President Rawlings, I think national service was even increased to 2 years. 2 years, with other activities to be undertaken in the second year. For instance, if a time should come for us to revisit that period because of perhaps the wisdom it carried at that time, whatever will be undertaken will cover the scope. Will cover the scope, and then the duration, which is the period of those activities. So I think the proposed amendment to include both the duration and the scope in the first place is appropriate, and I support it. But my concern, Mr. Speaker, is the portion, that is 33(1)(b), line 3. Line 3. It looks as if we are ascribing the determination of the year and the activities to the minister. And if I may read, it says that
B, 33(1)B, training for a minimum period of 6 weeks in areas including military training, that is conscription.
Honorable member, what we are dealing now is 33.
It's 33, Mr. Speaker. It's 33.
No, but 33, there are other sessions. So we have to finish the first one before we come to.
Okay.
So let him put the question.
Okay. So the duration and the scope.
Yes, let me put the question on the duration. Honorable, I think. That is 33, listed XIII. That's on the head note.
Mr. Speaker, I'm asking for clarity because once an amendment is proposed, it's a second amendment to the amendment. The question we put on the second one first. But I guess he has dropped it. You've dropped your amendment. You have dropped it. Good. So that we are clear in what,
Okay, very well.
what you are doing.
Thank you very much, Leader. Thank you so much. So, all those in favor of the proposed amendment say aye. All those against say no.
Extension of national service.
Honourable members, there is a further proposed amendment to clause 33, and this time listed as SV. Yes, Honourable Member for Tiwa West.
Mr. Speaker, 33B, have we dealt with B? Yes. 33(1)B. That's what we are doing now.
That's the one we just put the question on.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, that is where I was raising the point, and you said I should wait when we come there. So.
Okay, what was your point?
No, Mr. Speaker, thank you. The point I was raising is that 33(1)B, we are saying that whatever it is the minister, as line 3, as the minister may determine each year. I hope that has been taken away. Okay. Yes. Okay.
The whole of that has been deleted.
Has been deleted.
And then we insert as in one. Very well.
Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to be sure. The emergency response, does it include conscription?
Yes, Honorable Rankin, now you are the chairman, more or less. Leader is asking whether we took into consideration. Honorable, the ayes have it. Clause 33, as variously amended, stands part of the bill. 34, say aye. All those against say no. Honorable members, the ayes have it. Clause 34, proposed amendment is carried. And that all those in favor that clause 34 as amended stands part of the bill, say aye.
Something, a little matter here. That is in respect of what we have just closed. 34. 34(3). The authority shall grant a person exempted from undertaking national service a certificate of exemption from national service as set out. Aren't we giving the authority any discretion to say that it shall grant a person? Okay, the person is already exempted. The person is already exempted. So that's all right. Yes, we are.
Very well. So, drafters, we will look at what the leader has just raised. Okay. Yes, Leader.
Speaker, may we now turn to page 11 and take item S. S for sugar.
You say page 11, S for Samuel.
Yes, indeed. S for Samuel.
Very well.
And that's item 11S.
Honourable members. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank God the former leader of the House is in the chamber. What the Honourable Majority Chief Whip is seeking to do, Mr. Speaker, it will go against our standing orders. Mr. Speaker, if you read Order 97(6), a paper presented to the House shall be recorded in the votes and proceedings of the sitting at which the paper was presented. The item in question, Mr. Speaker, is not even ready. The chairman of the committee is not even in the chamber. Mr. Speaker, not so soon, the two chief whips had disagreements on the mode of the meeting. Mr. Speaker, clearly, as whips, if you lay it today, now that the coalition has not been done, you've agreed, you've had meetings 3 times, you've agreed on the mode. Yesterday, you agreed on the quotas. So 90% of the work is done. And that is why the business committee yesterday agreed that it will be laid on Tuesday and the motion will be taken on Wednesday. And in this morning, the deputy leader of the House presented the House the report. We've adopted it. We've all agreed. So having done that you are going to lay it on Tuesday and take the motion on Wednesday, let's do whatever we must do to make sure that by Tuesday it is ready. Then you lay it. So when you lay it, the whole votes and proceedings on Tuesday will contain it. So any member who takes it, the following day when we come to take the report, if there are corrections and they will do the corrections. If you we are not interested in unnecessarily litigating on this matter. But just for the records, that he was not part of the meeting. He's not even a member of the committee. Yesterday, when we had our last week engagement, the Speaker gave a directive that at least we should try and lay the report, because essentially we had agreed on the quotas and how to go about it. And that is not in doubt. What he quoted that is being captured in the business statement is actually an error. And I just related to an officer from the table.
Very well.
It was an error. Speaker, be that as may, we will yield to their call that we will stand it down and lay it on. Speaker, I will yield to them.
Why do you have to stand it down?
I've already indicated I want to have peace.
We are laying it and do the distribution to honorable members. So Monday or Tuesday.
Kwame, wait. The challenge is that even though we have agreed and the compilation on our part we've completed, I've just been informed that the clerk to the committee is yet to fine-tune the report. So essentially, the report is not ready. To that extent, we will compromise.
Okay.
Speaker, only to say that my conclusion is that they should not come with another excuse on Tuesday. Tuesday is laying. Wednesday, we take the motion. And let Hansard bear me witness. Don't come and advance another agreement on Tuesday. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I want to commend my colleague for seeing reason why a committee report which is yet to be generated should not be late. But just to remind him, if there's any side who have been promising to lay things in this house and have been failing, it is not this side. He's aware that the free SHS bill is not still being laid.
Honorable.
So we will stick to our words. So he shouldn't equate. We are not the same. Nobody will say that both sides are the same. We are not the same.
Very well. So, on that note,
Speaker, we are pleading with you. Monday is the BECE is starting. A colleague has prepared a short statement. Maybe we'll just say 1-1. Let him just read it for us to recognize and then wish our children well. Just 2 minutes. It's a very short statement. And 1-1. Mr. Speaker, we nobody, just 1-1 from each side. That's all you have done well, very well for us today as well. So, Mr. Speaker,
very well.
The way he dressed, he must make the statement.
In fact, we are told that he dressed specially to make the statement today as well. So,
yes. So, let's hear you, my brother.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in this candidate's educational journey, and it's a testament to their hard work, dedication, perseverance, acknowledging challenges. Mr. Speaker, it is an uncontestable fact that there are numerous challenges that many of them face. These range from limited access to resources, inadequate educational infrastructure, to various basic schools. These challenges are not unique to a few, but are experienced by many students across our nation. However, I must say that they should not let these obstacles discourage them. Instead, these obstacles should fuel their determination to succeed. Their resilience in the face of adversity is commendable and will serve them well throughout their lives. Mr. Speaker, as these determined young ones prepare for their crucial exams, I want to rally this August House to extend heartfelt encouragement to each of them. They should believe in their abilities, the knowledge they have acquired. They must approach the exam with confidence and calmness, knowing that they have prepared to the best of their abilities. Remember that this examination is not just a test of their academic knowledge, but also a demonstration of their resilience and determination. These candidates are the future of our great nation, and their success is vital to the development and prosperity of Ghana. It is my conviction that hard work and dedication will open doors to countless opportunities and pave the way for their brighter future. Mr. Speaker, education is fundamental right enshrined in our 1992 compulsory universal basic. We must also develop inclusive policies that address the specific needs of our diverse student population, including those with disabilities. In conclusion, as our sons and daughters sit for BECE, I want to urge them to know that their efforts are recognized and valued. Their success is not only a personal achievement, but also a crucial step towards progress of our nation. I therefore urge all candidates to approach their exams with confidence, stay focused, and give their best effort. Good luck to BECE candidates. May your hard work be rewarded. Great success, and may you continue to strive excellence in your endeavors. And this does not include the people of Kintampo North constituency and to Ghana as a whole, as the center of the nation. I'm grateful, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Member for Trouble.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the statement. Mr. Speaker, let me, on behalf of all of us, wish the candidates well, that they should excel in the exam that they are going to write. We wish them the Almighty God's retentive memory, so that whatever they've learned, they will be able to churn it out into good results. Mr. Speaker, we also want to commend government for affording to pay their registration examination fee. We also want to commend WAEC for the adequate preparation that they've put together. We also want to commend all teachers for preparing the children adequately for these exams. But Mr. Speaker, let me also commend individuals out of their own resources who have taken advantage of Article 25(2), Article 25 Clause 2, that they've used their own resources to build private schools at all levels to augment or supplement what government could not, where government could not reach. In between every 5 kilometers or so, there's supposed to be a school facility. Had it not been these private people who have really utilized their own resources to at least put in schools at certain various stages, we couldn't have churned out such 569,095 candidates, both from public and private schools. So we commend them as well. Then I also commend colleagues, MPs and all of us for the adequate support that we have given to them. Personally, every year I organize a mock exams for the entire candidates in my constituency to prepare them adequately. There is a standard marking scheme for it. There's examiners in my constituency who set the exams and prepare them. And I know colleagues in their diverse ways has also helped in preparing the children towards that. All we are telling our children and the candidates is that go there, whatever you've learned, go and be ready and write. Cheating in examination does not help. Go and present what God has given to you. And we are fully behind them, praying for them to churn out the quality learning outcomes. So this country will become a society of knowledgeable people. I thank you, and I thank the maker of the statement. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, Honorable. Come again. Yes. From there, I'll come to leadership. You can decide to yield to anybody.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. And particularly, let me thank the maker of this statement for a very succinct statement that he has made that touches and borders on the most important event in the life of education. Mr. Speaker, the Speaker has made us aware that we have over almost close to 570,000 students who will be sitting the BECE exams come Monday 8th. This is a very encouraging number. Mr. Speaker, we want to send our congratulatory messages to our students and then encourage them that this is part of the journey to their future, because this will determine the quality of human beings that they are going to be in future. All the people that you see in various positions the world over, whether they are lawyers, whether they are MPs, whether they are medical officers, or what have you, started from this humble beginning. We want to encourage them to commit to their books, whatever they have learned. They should remember that all of us are with them. Their parents are praying for them. They should remain resilient. They should remain committed to what they have learned. And then they should not think too much about the challenges, as my colleague mentioned. As for challenges, we have all faced it at one point of our educational ladder. So we want to urge every BCE student who is sitting these exams that their parents, the whole country, all of us as members of parliament, our heart goes out to them, and we are praying for them and supporting them. We want to also use the opportunity to encourage the educational institutions to strengthen the quality to improve upon the quality of our pupil. Mr. Speaker, let me use the opportunity to congratulate all the people of Garu constituency, the BCE exams candidates, that I wish them the best of luck, and that we are with them, and God bless them, see them successful. Amen.
Well, I've come to leadership now.